you live in low-lying areas, be aware of the possibility of tsunamis immediately after an earthquake. A strong earthquake lasting 20 seconds or more is a natural tsunami warning. Do not wait for an official warning. Gather your family members and evacuate immediately after the shaking stops. Don't delay. A tsunami could occur within minutes.
This message is sponsored by the Australian Government, AusAid, and produced by NEMA in collaboration with WinFM.
It's the start of the week. It's time for a new perspective. It's time for Unfiltered. Join Azar Gums, lawyer and deputy leader of the People's Action Movement, for raw and unfiltered political analysis of the current events in St. Kitts and Nevis. Tune in every Sunday evening from 7:30 p.m. on WinFM. Join Azar Gums as he breaks the mantle and cuts through the unfiltered political noise to bring you the facts. Unfiltered every Sunday evening on WinFM 98.9.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9.
Good morning, and how are we doing this morning to the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis? Good morning, regional and international diaspora. Good morning. Remember, we're being simulcast on TVC Channel 40, Facebook, and YouTube. The numbers you can contact us at are 0333 440065. That's in the UK. In the US, 1-718-285-6984. Our second US number, 1-305-921-4619. And our local number, 466-0989. Quint, how are you doing this morning?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right.
And you?
I'm trying my best to be my best. I don't know if you know all the happenings of yesterday.
No.
You heard of the bus accident?
I heard that. I did
You
hear
heard
that.
of that one, and there's a story about a young woman that intentionally fell off the balcony at the Washington Archibald High School. You saw that video circulating?
No. Intentionally?
Yeah, I'm going to read the story for you.
Wow.
The last thing I heard, I hope if she is still in the land of the living, can someone let us know? I'm so weary and tired because I heard it's because of bullying why she did that.
No.
And as parents, we need to talk to our children. I don't know who instigated, who started the bullying, but it's disheartening. We were bullied in school, but we seemed, and I don't want to say people have thin skin, although it might be the case, but we lived through it. We didn't think so far. We live in a different age where things are worse. We see kids are bullied over in the States. They commit suicide all the time. It's not a good thing. This month too is also mental health month. We do not know what people are going through.
Yeah.
We have to be mindful. The other day I saw a next video with a fight. It was like the person, it's a school child in a, I think is a Bastille High School uniform, and the other person looks like an adult. She could be a student too, but I don't know. She was not cladded in uniform. But it's just disheartening what is happening in our federation, and now nobody parts. Everybody films.
Yeah.
So we have evidence galore if we want evidence, but nobody is stepping in to stop the fight. We are heartless people these days. I know the Bible says we will become that. Greg can agree with me on that. But we just don't care for each other. We're not empathetic, we're not sympathetic. And the headline reads, police investigate reports of a female student falling from a balcony at the Washington Archibald High School. And the report says, images and videos circulating on social media show police officers at the Washington Archibald High School where a female student reportedly fell from the second-story balcony. The suggestions are that the young girl's fall, which occurred on the afternoon of May 8, 2025, was intentional, and rumors of bullying as the cause are making the rounds. Police have not confirmed particulars of the incident, and no further details are officially known at the time of reporting. There are also unconfirmed reports that the female student has died. As I said, I hope this is not the case. I hope she is still alive. As they say, unconfirmed. So it's not confirmed, so maybe she's still around. She's still fighting for life. I pray for her and her family. And they say more on this as the information becomes available.
Times like these, you're at a loss for words. What I will say is that this is a twofold problem. We as parents have got to teach our kids to be sensitive.
Yep.
And we as parents have got to teach, like for instance the young girl who did that, we as parents have got to be observant of our children, because these things don't happen in isolation. They're happening over a period, and the children are showing signs that we are not taking the time to see. And when a child reaches this point, it means that that child feels there's no hope whatsoever, and the only way out is to die. I've seen images of students telling other students, like a group of students might be telling a child or two children who are friends, why don't you go and kill yourself? Things like those.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
they
how
don't
could
know
you?
the words
how
are
could you-
impactful.
How could you be saying those things to someone like you? And usually this bullying happens in groups. It's a group who feel like they have the numbers, and they pick on someone who is either just a single individual or maybe two individuals who are continuously bullied, and they seek friendship in each other.
Yeah.
And then the group try to break them up and say all kind of bad things about them. But and here's another aspect to it. We as parents are not setting good examples. I've seen where people go on websites, in chat rooms, and if you see the comments that grown-ups are making, for instance, in sports, Serena Williams, right? Some years ago when she was at the peak and dominant. And I would see people in the chat saying things like, she's not a man. I mean, she's not a woman, she's a man. Why don't she go and stay and go and play with the men? And why don't she mind her ugly self? And that has nothing to do with sports.
Exactly.
Just because she's on the top
On
and
the
she's
top.
dominant and she's a Negro, you know, you pick and you say all kind. And these are grown-ups. So when our children see and hear the things that we say, do we expect better from them?
Exactly. And that's my thing. To me, the bullies are the ones that are insecure, so they have to pick on someone to bully because they're not sure about themselves. And it's just, as I said, a lot of things are happening. Should I say I'm grateful for the video? In a sense, because it will help persons in their case. But in another sense, we need to get back to some kind of empathy, some kind of sympathy when it comes to each other, because we can't just stand there and think we all of a sudden Steven Spielberg or somebody that makes movies. This does not make sense. Even the accident yesterday, you saw I heard there was somebody with their hand broken in many a places and bleeding out, but you saw I watch nothing graphic. I can't. It plays on my mind. So even that, like, it's out there for everybody to see.
And someone who, the individual who commented to me yesterday about the accident, said they could not understand why around a roundabout like that you would have such an accident where, if I'm not mistaken, he said the vehicle turned over.
Yeah, one was on the side.
Yeah,
That's
so
what I saw. But
you know.
and this is my thing too. Every Monday we're on here admonishing everybody to drive carefully, including the busmen. And yes, busmen, I'm speaking about you. You have lives in your buses. Some of you are not even familiar with the folks that you're driving around. You have to be cautious. What is the rush? The Lord will provide. You will get your quota for the day.
Look,
The nonsense has to stop. Busmen, you have a nasty reputation on the road, you know, and I know you know, and I know some of you probably don't care,
and some
but
of
you
them
have to
don't
drive
care.
cautiously.
Some of them do not care, because you will say this, and if you go out on the road right now,
One
you
will
will
just
see,
zoom past
you will
me.
see one doing some reckless foolishness. They just, some of them
Listen,
just don't seem to care. Not all, mind you, but
that's
some
what
of
I'm
them
saying. Not all of them
don't
drive the
seem
same way.
to care. And when one or two get in an accident, it impacts lives.
Exactly, lives. You're putting your insurance at jeopardy. Imagine soon the insurance company might say, not y'all, because y'all matching up your
Well,
buses
you
too
heard what
steady.
the insurance lady said in terms of accidents and
Yeah.
premiums. She said because of the fact that especially passenger buses are so prone to accidents, every time an accident happened, it sort of carries up the premiums.
Yeah, but it's like they don't care. It's
Yeah.
like they don't care. And it hurts me sometimes to hear, and I don't want to sound mean or anything. That most times the drivers of these accidents survive, and somebody else dies.
Yeah, because moments before impact, they see what is happening and they usually swing the bus in a position where they are able to escape, but it puts others in the
At
way of
risk.
danger.
Exactly.
You know?
We're having too many accidents. The year has started. Listen, people, come on, let's use our common sense. We have plenty of it. The Lord gave us enough. We have rules to abide by. The traffic fines have gone up. Y'all have money somewhere? Because I still hear y'all bawling. So what are we doing?
Let me
What are we doing?
let me kind of get back to the incident with the child,
The bullying.
because this is another aspect where we've got to find a way to get a grip on this. When I was growing up, I can't remember that bullying was such a big thing. What we had then was heckling.
Taunting.
But
But
heckling,
it was bullying, you know.
but heckling to us, it was not for me, for me
It
and
did
my
compare as
peers.
bullying to
No,
us.
it was like we would say things to each other, and we had no evil intent. I know I had no evil intent. For instance, we'd be playing dominoes or cards, and we would, when you slam the
Yeah.
domino on the board, and you say, take
Yeah.
that in your,
Yeah,
and you so and you, and with expletives and so. But we didn't mean
Yeah.
anything bad. But because that was the environment we grew up in, where heckling was a part of it just went off our backs. We would see each other and say, boy, I mean, like, for instance, you'd have a friend, and he said, boy, I see this girl, I like this girl, and so on and so forth, and one of us would say, so you think you're going to get anywhere? And he says, yeah, boy, she like me. And I say, yeah, boy, when last you get a kiss? When last you? And we would,
Mash him up,
and
yeah.
but he would laugh, you
Yeah,
understand? And we
exactly.
would laugh. And when my turn come, I'm going to get, you understand, they're
Exactly.
going to be on
Everybody
me. So it
gets,
was a
yeah.
give and take. We didn't go around like, you would see us heckling each other, and then if I'm going down after school and I see someone who I was heckling just moments ago or yesterday, and he's in a squabble, you bet your life we're going to go to defend him, you understand? But now so that's another aspect. I think that in the home environment, parents have got to have more fun with their kids.
A lot of parents don't have the time because
that's what I'm saying.
You see, before our mom stayed home while our dads went out on work. Now the mother have to hustle because most of the time the mother by herself,
Yeah,
and she really don't have time, and we have to make time.
we've got to make
Yeah, you
time.
bring these kids, you have to make
Because
time.
because if in the home environment, I know some families and the parents heckle the children. The children. I went to
Yeah,
I went
back in the
I
day.
went to a business place the other day, right? And there's this man, a grown man, and his mother is in there with him, and something his mother said to him, and he made a retort, right? And his mother, I think he said something like, okay, you sure you woke up on the right side this morning because your face looked kind of rampled up, right? And his mother watched him and smiled and says, I hate you. You know what I mean? that kind of jiving in the home environment makes you more braced to face things out there.
Yeah.
You said it, and it's true. A lot of the kids today are thick-skinned because they
Thin skin.
thin-skinned because they didn't grow up in that environment like us. Hello, caller.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning,
How are you?
Sylvine. And Sylvine, before we go anyway, Let me make this clear. Yesterday I told you that you sometimes annoy me. I don't want people out there to feel like I respect you any less. I respect you to the utmost. I will lean on you for an information, but as grown-ups, I'm a straight-up person, and sometimes I say it as I see it, and so I hope you don't feel away, and the listening audience
No. This is why I come with the heckling story.
Yes,
No,
okay.
heckling used to be one-to-one.
Yes.
Now they go on to Facebook.
Yeah. And all the other handles.
Yeah, that make it worse, you know.
Yeah.
And then they have access to the news in the USA and so. Children are killing themselves because of being bullied.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it opened up the options.
Yes, yes.
And a lot of parents, they don't care. You may complain. They do nothing about it.
Yeah.
Or they abuse you.
Yes,
Or
yes.
they encourage the children. They even tell them what to say.
Yes. Most definitely.
So that there's nobody taking responsibility.
Look.
You know, I had a grandchild used to go to a school. Was at St. Paul's.
Yes.
Harass that poor child because she's overweight and she's big for her age.
Yes.
Why they weren't even trying to push her across a bus?
Wow.
What?
Huh.
You understand? They would follow home and push her.
Yeah.
Because you know it's one road there.
Yes. Wow.
You go make complaint to the parents. You're not saying anything. You make complaint to the teacher. They say, well, just take the child out of the school.
Yeah.
That doesn't stop it. So our children are being harassed. And those who have the Facebook, maybe why you could tell them, come over the Facebook or whatever they're on.
You know, Sylvine,
Because they go and they get their friends to increase the intensity of the bullying.
Yes. Sylvine, as you speak about Facebook and there's TikTok and YouTube and all of
Right.
those, here's my concern. I realized that recently it seemed as, I don't know on whichever the platform, but it seemed as if though on one or many of the platforms you can't say the word debt. Because I realize when I see people and they say the word debt, it is kind of made silent. So you see their lips move, but you don't. So a lot of the younger people are saying unalive. I didn't realize that they will be, but I say that to say this. Imagine to say debt. They will bleep you or cut you off and punish you in some way. But yet still they allow you to get on their platforms and bully each other and say the most despicable things, and they do nothing about it. So this brings up the question, what do they really want? Do they really want peace and tranquility, or is it
No.
Yeah.
It is not a part of the environment, you know. Right, some of them you don't even you got to make a complaint, you get abused. So at home, the children hear all the disparaging remarks about their farmer friends or other people's children.
Yeah.
So they feel free to do it.
Yeah.
I think I heard that the child is still alive.
Okay.
I pray she is,
that'll be
because
good.
this
Yeah,
is...
but you see what I am saying is this. I think there's a law, you know, about communication.
Yes.
I think they passed a law the other day, I don't know. But they have got to begin to take action against the children and the parents, because
Yes.
it will become the norm.
Yes, it
There's
will
only
become the
so
norm.
much you can do when you're being bullied from all sides.
Yeah.
You may complain, you go to the school and you talk to the guidance counselor. Some of them need to be expelled.
I am looking at one here. Funny you mentioned that. It says, a comment from under the thing, it says, about a month ago I mentioned to one of the guidance counselor that a child I'm looking after said that the counselor bullied, he said basically that what the Washington Archibald is like, the counselor know that he's being bullied, and what the Washington Archibald counselor said to me, why would the child tell me and not him? I said to him, the child lives with me and at the time in the conversation feels comfortable to tell me something. And the persons went on to say, sometimes children does talk, but those in authority does drag their foot.
Yes.
So if the child is going
Is
to
that-
speak
is
to the
just that.
parent, and the
Yes.
parent is going to go to the school counselor, come on, work with the children, man. People fed up. People say WASHI and BHS need full-on investigation about this bullying thing. Can't say
All
the
the high
word they
schools, 'cause
say.
all of them do it.
Every day we see in the videos, but not a thing is being done. Because I want to know what happened to the teacher and the young girl too that was basically bullying the teacher. When the teacher
You
was telling
see,
her sit
he-
down.
I'm going to say something.
Teachers get bullied too, you know, they're the bully
I'm-
teachers.
Yeah, the girl
Yeah,
that hit the
they go
teacher the
to
other
bully
day in
teachers.
Bassett High School. I haven't heard the end result of that. It's just
Look,
quiet.
Look, I'm
we
going
need
to.
to really prep our children, prep our country.
I'm.
And the people in authority have got to make public statements to let them know they're not taking it easy.
Yeah.
You understand?
I remember some time ago in the United States when a lot of young men, especially, were doing these shootings
Shoot up
in
the
the
schools,
schools,
yeah.
and I'm sure you remember when they decided that we're going to make sure that some of the parents, as a matter of fact, I know a father of one of them got.
A mother and a father.
Yeah, a mother and a father, because
Yeah.
they said that they had to find some way of making sure that the parents are responsible for how they safeguard their weapons, not just
I
have
don't
them
know.
open up. So we down here, to strengthen the point that Sylvine and Hortensia are making, we've got to find ways of making sure that there are repercussions for these kind of behaviors. And if it is the children, or if it is that, for instance, children particularly consistently do something, then you have to start to look at the parents and see that it is something that is stemming from the environment.
Yeah, and some of them have mental problems too, you know.
Well, that is another
Mental
aspect.
issues, yes.
Yeah.
You think it's because they lack social skills like us? We were
No,
outside.
no. Some of them is maybe chemical, or they're born like, you know.
Okay, all right. Because
And
you know
then
now
they're being
everybody
harassed.
relies on a phone.
They retaliate.
Yeah, nobody mingles much. We mingle, as Quinn says, we took the heckling, we build the broad back, we heckle back when we
You
got
know,
the
they went by
chance.
break of day. Hey. You know what I mean? I said, God, they're like dog owners, you know.
Oh boy.
I
You know,
remember.
may the Lord have mercy on the children.
I remember.
And the bus drivers, they will only change when it happens to them
Yeah.
physically, personally.
It seems that's the only thing is going to happen.
But why
Yeah.
wait till then? The imagine the fines. See, they're making me mix my words. The fines have increased and they're not behaving. What else
But
do
how
we need
many
to do?
we have had deaths since the fine increase?
Yeah.
Nobody's listening.
And
Nobody
as a matter of
cares.
fact,
They're
since the
listening,
fine-
they're listening, but they're not hearing.
So what do we
Yeah.
have to do? They had a hearing.
Just send them over.
Look,
They say, Lord, that sentence is too hard. You
Yeah.
can't bring back nobody.
here's a hard fact. Here's a hard fact that we have to deal with as human beings. You may not like to hear it, but there are some foolish human beings in this world who you cannot tell anything.
Plenty.
You understand? You cannot tell them anything. You cannot reason with them. They are not rational. They feel that to be a grown-up means you do what you want when you want.
They need to go and read the book of Proverbs, you know, and Ecclesiastes. Talk about fool. Say fool, you never beat him, you're not going to learn.
Boy, and these children, I don't think these
Even
children
when
get
you
enough
get
licks
them
these days.
they're not going to learn. But we really need to pray, you know. Those of us who know to pray, because these are demonic activities, no matter how you turn it. They're demonic in intent to rob, kill, and destroy.
Yep. And if you don't have a strong mind, as we would say in the old days, the devil gonna get the best of it.
Yeah, but sometimes they push you to the point where the
Yeah.
children retaliate by fighting.
Yeah.
And may the Lord have mercy, and may you wonder how long. But this thing of they watch them on YouTube or whatever, especially girls. Girls tend to kill themselves, and the boys tend to retaliate by attacking, seeking revenge.
Yeah.
Oh, may the Lord have mercy on our country.
No, we don't need neither.
Okay, Sylvine.
Quint, I see a next comment here that says, this is absolutely heartbreaking. This is an absolutely heartbreaking situation. No child should ever feel so overwhelmed or alone that they see no way out. My heart goes out to the student, her family, and the entire Washington Archibald High School community. This tragedy must serve as a wake-up call for all of us parents, I like this person comment, educators and policymakers to take immediate and meaningful action against bullying and to invest in real mental health support in our schools. Enough is enough.
Hello, caller.
Caller, good morning.
Good morning to everybody.
Good day.
Greetings once more.
Yes.
In the name of Jesus Christ, the only Savior of sinners, from the sins and from hell. Now, first of all, like I always say, we don't do things the Bible way. Things would always be getting worse and worse. Now, Catencia, first of all, what I would like to say is that the Bible does not really say that we are going to get worse and worse in this time period. As a matter of fact, the Bible says, and the last days was referring to the years leading up to AD 70 in Jerusalem with the destruction of the temple. It was the last days of the old covenant in its physical form. That is why 1 John and so on referred to their time as the last days and the last hour. We already living in post last days time, that what we are living in right now.
Okay.
So what we are going to expect is a worldwide revival and transformation by the word of God. That is what's coming up.
Okay, Greg. I just want you to pause a minute. There's another caller. Hello, caller.
It's Matt Mahone. Perhaps you could let him finish.
Okay, go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So So a number of things I would like to call in quickly for. Number one. You remember yesterday when I said that I let all the deaths, the COVID vaccine deaths that people had to take because they were pressured by unity, and now people who are dying from them, I let their deaths all at the feet of Team Unity.
Yes.
And then I think Miss Henry called in and said, well, it would be interesting to match the deaths to see who was vaccinated from who was not vaccinated. But you know why that ain't gonna happen? Because all of the parties, yes, they abuse each other, they cuss each other, but when they get in power, they protect each other. You think Dr. Joe going to do that? He doesn't have the stones to do that. Let me say this as well. If that was done, there are even former colleagues of his, medical doctors, who would be
implicated
to account.
Yes.
But they're pushing and pressuring people to do these things. You think Dr. Joe, the PM Dr. Joe, Honorable Dr. Joe, going to do that to his colleagues, former colleagues? No. So these things ain't going to happen. When, as much as you hear these parties abusing, they're going to protect each other, and they're going to and he's going to protect his medical colleagues and that sort of stuff. So these are just pipe dreams. And something I was listening to on Facebook to Model Cop Shaq. I was listening to a video on his Facebook, and he played a video by a lady called Jennifer Lee. She's a thick lady. She does sell on 4th Street. I think sometime opposite, or almost opposite, on the other side of the road to Trends. A thick lady. She and her daughter, they'll be there. They'll be selling like.
Greg, you don't have to be specific with individuals. People not want their identities to
get. Where she on the video talking on his Facebook, she on the video speaking.
Yes.
And she spoke to me about it, but she on the video speaking, and she was lamenting how she used to be on the beach, massaging people, braiding hair, but they tell her, since something gone wrong with her foot, that she can't stand up as long as she used to. She can't do that anymore. She can't be braiding people here and massaging people on the beach. And she said the customers them were appreciative of her massaging them, and that's all. So the customers them didn't have no complaint. And she said she's not disruptive, rude,
individual.
Person. Yeah, she said she's not that kind of person. So she's wondering why they stop her from braiding and massaging people on the beach. Because she said the Department of Tourism ain't getting no complaint on her. No, obviously, I don't be there. And that is her side of the story. So what I would like to say, the Ministry of Tourism need to make this right. If she is correct, and I am intending to believe that she is correct, but like I said, I only hear her side of the story. And she said she made to see Marsha, the Honorable Marsha, many times, and she ain't able to see her. So she wants to tell the Honorable Marsha what's going on. But she ain't able to, she's not getting through to be able to see her. So this sounds like a very, very sad
situation.
Thing that happened.
Yeah.
That situation, that punching bread out of the mouth of this poor lady who's struggling to make it in life. So I really would like something to really be done to rectify her situation.
That sounds kind
right
of
now.
That sounds kind of strange to me, because I can't comprehend. So you're on the beach, you're plying a trade, making some money. Why would they? If you can't stand, then perhaps you could get a stool, partly sit on it and. Well,
she said the customers are not complaining, and she said customers are telling her it's okay.
Well, we would have to. There should be some mode of investigating. This is why I find that a lot of the journalists sometimes tend to follow only the certain stories, but there are so many other things happening in our societies that need to be highlighted. Okay, Greg.
Yes. So if you go on Model Cop Shack on his Facebook, it right now it is saying two days ago. Right now it is saying 2 days ago. You will see the video of her. Another thing is.
Greg,
hello?
Greg, remember there's another caller,
Oh, okay. I would like to say this quickly because this is another local thing. I would like to say this quickly as well. The SKNBS has now come out and issued that by the end of December, people, even though you are selling on the street and you bake your thing and make your things, everybody supposed to make sure that they have detailed labeling as to expiry date and manufacturing date, production date, and all sort of stuff. And what I'm saying is that for the small man on the street who is hawking and that sort of stuff, or who is selling their business and that sort of stuff, you're putting them in extra expense. Maybe they got to go now get a machine to do these detailed labeling. And I'm saying is that you put in now the extra expense on the small man who's selling on the road, because it is said if these things to come in at the end of December, and even if they are caught with not the proper labeling, the things can be confiscated, they're fined, and so on and so on. Why are we putting the small man in these extra expenses? Yes, I like labeling, but the small man is going to affect them very, very negatively. I think the government need to not discontinue this and do not let this come to be.
If that is the case, what does the abbreviation stand for?
The SKNBS.
Yes.
You know, yesterday I was reading it. Obviously, SKN means things.
Most likely Bureau of Standards.
I think things Nevis
Okay.
Bureau Standards.
Okay.
If my memory told me correct.
Okay.
I think it's Nevis Bureau Standards.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what I was going to say is that I don't agree with this, because if you're catering to foreigners, I could understand that. But for instance, there's a lady who sells tam and jam, and you know how you wrap the tam and jam in that,
Right,
and she has. So
right.
how you gonna get that old lady to?
I don't know.
I mean, come on, man! You've got to have a heart. You can't. So anyway, Mr. McMahon, your turn to interject. You're gonna hang up,
yeah.
Greg?
Yes, I would definitely hang up
Okay.
and listen online. Thank
Okay,
you.
cool. Go ahead, Mr. McMahon.
Yeah, if I can just talk about what he just said. Actually, it is a good idea to to actually introduce those best practices. Okay, I think for health reasons, presentation and marketing and all of that, I think it is a good idea. But what should happen is that cases like these should be taken into account by the appropriate government department, and the people should be facilitated, okay, to still sell the tamarind jam
Yes.
in their wrapping paper, but with a sticker that is provided for by whatever means, okay? If not the old lady herself, the facilitating government department should be able to do that. So the lady stays in business, but the best standards, the standards and best practices, at least adhered to.
Okay, so
we really should be moving in that direction.
Give me an idea of how this would be presented, this sticker form, in your mind. Give me an idea.
Okay, I would assume even, I don't know if the lady needs a food handler's permit. I don't know if it comes down to that.
I would think so, but
yeah?
I'm not
okay.
sure. Yeah.
Right. I don't know if it applies to confectionery and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But I would, if so, and it should be so, I think.
Yeah.
Then they'll know what the lady is selling. Okay. Somebody, the Bureau of Standards can do it, can do an analysis of her product, and they produce a sticker to suit. That's all. She collects her stickers, and that's all. I mean, we should preserve that practice.
So the stickers will go onto the jam, onto the wrapper for the jam?
Onto the wrapper. It's a foil, right? Well, not the foil. Paper.
Yeah.
Wax paper or something like that. Right.
Okay.
Sure. So I'm sure they can have a sticker that can be applied there.
Okay.
Okay. Because we really should preserve that kind of the tray ladies, so to speak.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with the practice. Just that they should also have standards, just like anybody else.
I agree.
And have best practices.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, what I really called to talk about was that incident.
School incident.
And I am looking at the school incident.
Yes.
And I'm looking at it from the 30,000-foot view, bigger picture.
Yeah.
And I think what is wrong, actually, is that our society has become very ill-disciplined or indisciplined. Okay? I'm sure you've heard callers often say, in Bratcher time, that would never happen.
Yeah.
Right. Okay? That means nothing to this generation, of course.
Yeah.
Okay? But I think the point was, even though he was authoritarian and some people might say excessive, there was a general feeling in the country that there was order, there was discipline, there were consequences, because if you have discipline, there are consequences for not being disciplined.
Yeah.
Okay? There was all that. Okay? And that has been eroded, or is being eroding over the years.
Mr. McMahon, let me interject. I'm going to tell you this. I only remember seeing Mr. Bradshaw one time in my lifetime. One single time, one solitary time. But that has left an image that I will never forget. My mother had a business place just opposite the police station there in Bastille. And I, as a teenager, came from school, I think it was around midday, and was in her business place. And a tall man came into the business place and was having a rapport with my mother. And then I heard a voice say, excuse me, sir. And I looked around, and there was this, I never forgot this, because all the time I heard about Bradshaw, because the image I had of him was of this larger-than-life individual. But I remember looking across and seeing this man in army fatigue, and he was barely as tall as myself, and I was a teenager, had not reached my full extent of growth. But the man who was speaking to my mother was about twice our height, and he turned around, and when he saw Mr. Batcher, you could see his whole demeanor change, and he said, excuse me, and Mr. Batcher said to him, Mr. Batcher said, did you park that truck on the corner there? That's on the corner there by Baker's Corner, right around where there used to be a PAM sign. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So the man had parked there, and you know that's a no-no. You shouldn't. So Bratcher said to him, did you park that truck there? And the man said, he stammered. He said, yeah. And Bratcher said, this tall man, you know. And Bratcher said, go and move it. And then he turned off, right? And the man immediately went. And the image that stuck with me is this. Here's this tall man, and there's this short man, and Bratcher didn't come like some bullies, some people in a town to come say, hey, you put it there, and you know, he didn't go through any lot of preamble. He just asked a question, you answered the question, he said, move it, and he went off. And it was done.
He had what leaders today lacking. He had gravitas, he had stature, you know. Even though he wasn't all that big, you know, people listened to him because they know he was a no-nonsense man.
He was a no-nonsense man.
Exactly. And I think that it has become fashionable now, individualism and doing things your way, doing as you like, has become fashionable.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it pervades through the whole society.
Yeah.
So whether we're talking, as you just mentioned there, with the illegal parking.
Yeah.
Our approach, our whole approach to things like parking, obeying traffic laws, you know, speeding and those kinds of things. It's in our psyche now to basically do as you like,
yeah.
as you feel.
Nobody respects anything.
Okay, and there would definitely be consequences for that kind of.
But the consequences don't seem to do them anything, and it doesn't seem like the consequences are harsh enough.
Well, no. I wouldn't go as far as to say that. I would say, right, that what we're suffering from is a lack of leadership that then comes straight down the society.
Yeah.
If you don't, I think Greg just mentioned, for instance, about the people at the top, government people, each regardless of who go in, who's in government.
Yeah,
they're going to protect,
shielding one another.
Right, they're going to shield the others.
Yeah.
But that is not discipline.
Yeah.
Okay? Discipline implies consistency and everybody being treated fairly and so on.
Yeah, okay,
and
Mr. McMahon. Mr. McMahon, pause a while. There's another caller. You're going to continue. Hello, caller.
Hello, good morning, Quint. Good
Yes.
morning to you, Cotton here.
Good morning.
Yes, I will continue to Mr. McMahon's train of thought. And I would like to piggyback from something Mrs. Henry said, and Greg followed up on it this morning. And the status quo that government, successive administration would adhere to, because it happens in the various disciplines in government, the operation of how the governance system operates.
Yeah.
It is not necessarily just a government per se. It could be under any other discipline, like a lawyer or lawyers or doctors, the fraternities, so to speak.
Yeah.
Fraternities keep some secrets that, even in the business community, which they hold daily, and they dare not violate those codes, moral codes in their
establishments.
organization.
Yeah.
Yes. So yes, no administration would disclose go beyond and disclose. As rivals as they might be on the campaign trail, once they are seated in office, they adhere to certain other codes of those fraternities.
Just a minute, though. What you're saying that people in government have a code, some kind of code that we don't know of? Well, so where does accountability, things like accountability and transparency and so on comes in? They're not an organization like the medical association or whatever the bar association and those kinds of things. They're not that. They are there elected to be our representatives to serve the people. Okay, and so they're accountable to us, not to their association, no secret association or anything like that, right? And maybe that is the problem. Okay?
But Mr.
That's what I mean.
Mr. McMahon,
that's what I mean.
Here's an example. There was this minister during, I think it was the time of Clinton, his vice president, I'm not too sure. But there was this other minister who was asked this question. The press, a media personnel asked him this question. The question was, sir, is there a secret organization that all presidents, no matter whether they are Republicans or Democrat, are a part of it, and they go through certain rituals that are secretive? And the individual looked at the media, a number of medias, and said, smugly, he said, well, that is a secret. So you understand? That is what Africa is implying. There are always things that people have behind the scenes that we are unaware of as a society.
Yeah, but the thing is though, when you have those kinds of things, they have implications for the rest of the populace.
Definitely.
Okay? Right. And so you don't tell me that you are outside there touting transparency and accountability and all of that, and because you go into government now, and I still maintain that government is supposed to be of the people, by the people kind of thing.
Yeah, and I agree.
And so if there's a secret code, then we should be aware of it. The people should be aware of it. I know it's an oxymoron in the sense
that's what I was going to say. Then it wouldn't be a secret. Yeah.
Okay, so
right.
But
what I'm saying
Africa wants to come back in. Go ahead, Africa.
Mr. McMahon, do agree that some fraternities, like the medical fraternity and the jurisprudence fraternity, do adhere by such codes. But politics is a part of the 5 Ps. There are 5 Ps, okay, including the penal system, politics, and there are 3 others, which I will allow the public to really contemplate on with the other 3 Ps. All of them
is one of them.
Of transparency, and the public need to know certain things. All of them are bounded by those 5 Ps. And so Mr. McMahon would agree that the jurisprudence and the medical fraternities do adhere by such moral secret codes, what have you, within their organization.
Even university, even universities have their codes, graduates and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah,
yes, but I'm not saying that they shouldn't have their codes. What I'm saying is that when it comes to government and governance, right, the code, those kinds of codes should not exist.
Yeah.
Who decides that those codes should exist in government, that nobody's supposed to tell on each other kind of thing? What's the point of having legislation like integrity in public life, whistleblower, freedom of information, and then tell me that you must have a secret, you got to abide by a secret code? That's ridiculous, right? I know it's practice. I mean, even now, I think it's practice, okay? And that's really unfortunate, and that leads me back to my main point, that where you have that kind of thinking and leadership from the top, it filters down to society.
Yeah.
And all of us become ill-disciplined.
Yes.
And the society as a whole suffers.
I agree.
You have to set a tone.
Yeah.
And we're better to set the tone than at government, at the level of government.
And I'm sure Africa agrees with that too. Africa?
Yeah, I agree. It's not that I'm an apologist for the status quo. No, that's not the case. But I'm just talking about the hard reality and why we're not getting answers.
Yeah.
Like what would not be disclosed. And Greg said something that even overlapped, that because of our sitting prime minister is a medical doctor himself.
Yes.
He would have known from the medical fraternities that no, these things cannot be disclosed. And after all, the lives that have lost, you know?
Yeah.
And it's a serious responsibility of even being treasonous to the code, you know, that you were taught
to the
adhere
code. To the code.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
As if the code is some kind of entity, some godlike entity out there.
Well, we don't know what they regard it as.
Yeah.
We really don't know what they regard it as.
Okay. Look. For instance, take a practical case like what Greg was bringing up with the lady on the beach doing massages and so on, right? Really and truly, you know, that should not even reach the level where she has to go to Marshall for redress.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? I mean, some, and that's what I mean about the tone at the top filtering down to the bottom.
Yeah.
Some department somewhere should have taken up the case, or even the ombudsman.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? That's what there's some departments that are really exist.
Especially the ombudsman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That exactly. That I mean.
That is his main.
That's what I'm saying.
That is his main job.
It's a failure of our system, right? At different levels, when these things happen, okay, and people have to come on the ear and voice their concern about them. It really shouldn't have to happen, okay? And I maintain that is the tone that is set at the top. It would never have, to quote the callers, it would never have happened in Bratcher time.
Yeah.
And there's no reason why, even with the changes that we've had in our society and technology and all of that, there's no reason why we can't get back the high standard and discipline that we used to have. Okay? Because that is what's going to make the difference between our society and others. That's what's going to make us a cut above the rest.
Okay. Africa, could you finish your statement, and then I'm going to take a break. Africa?
Okay. I'm good. Except to say that, did you read my last... check out your WhatsApp.
Yeah. Africa, you put a lot of those stuff out, you know.
No, not that one. Not that one. A message.
Okay, I'm going to have to check that then.
I wouldn't have to ask, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to call you perhaps when I finish. So be expecting a call from me, okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. So we're going to take a bit of a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Boys, so glad you made it to Dad's birthday dinner.
Thanks, Mom. This gift is from me.
And me too?
No way.
Fine.
Hi, boys.
Who's messaging? Oh, it's a deposit from CIBC Caribbean First Pay from Ricardo. Son, you're so thoughtful.
He sure is.
For quick transfer with just an email, mobile number, or QR code, use First Pay from CIBC Caribbean. Visit CIBCCaribbean.com/ways to bank for more information.
Campari. Red Passion. Embrace the mix.
Campari Red Passion, full action, this is Red Passion. Embrace the mix, add Campari, make it turn and twist. Add your chaser in your drink. Campari Red Passion, make the nicest mix. Campari!
Campari Red Passion. Embrace the mix. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Let TDC Financial Services help you go for your goals. Whether you're thinking of taking that grand vacation, down payment on a house, higher education, TDC Financial Services has various plans that will allow you to go for your goals. Choose from the Accumulator Plus, Investment Starter Plan, and Fixed Deposit. Ready to go for your goals? Visit us at TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Supplegen is giving away 3 unforgettable shopping sprees valued at $1,200 each. Just shop and win. Spend $12 or more on Supplegen products at your favorite supermarket. Write your name and contact on the back of the bill and place them into the Supplegen entry form boxes. Enter as many times as you like. Promotion runs from April 1st to May 31st. Supplegen boosts you up.
This April, TDC Home and Building Depot is turning green. Get 20% off energy-efficient and eco-friendly products from April 7th to 30th. Plus, during Earth Week, April 16th to 22nd, win energy-saving bulbs and reusable shopping bags. Join us for product demos and expert consultations. Make the switch. We're going reusable. Go green with TDC Home and Building Depot. Hurry in or visit us online today at shoptdcgroup.com. TDC. Together we succeed.
Hey kids, it's chubby time. I have to go to school and learn and play with my friends too. Every day it's fun day, 'cause I love my chubby chubby. Chubby, 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 chubby. Lots of flavors for me to choose. Every day they keep me cool. It fits my handmade just for me. Everybody loves chubby. Chubby, 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 chubby. Every day is fun day. Chubby.
More than 42 million cars from 19 different car companies are being recalled for faulty airbag inflators. Repairs are fast, easy, and free. The problem isn't with the airbag, it's with the airbag inflator. Because the inflator can rupture, shooting shrapnel through the airbag, which can cause serious injury or even death. Don't risk it, fix it.
Please contact TDC Automotive Division to find out if your Toyota vehicle is affected by the Takata airbag recall. Visit or call us at 465-2511 in St. Kitts or 469-5430 in Nevis.
Shopping with TDC just got much easier. Here's how. Log on to shoptdcgroup.com. Shop at your convenience at any time, from anywhere, with your smartphone, tablet, or computer. With our safe and secure payment checkout, you choose the option to pick up in-store or have your goods delivered right to your door. It's that easy. Shop tdcgroup.com, your one-stop online store.
Shop anywhere, shop anytime, same quality you love. Now online. Shop www.shoptdcgroup.com.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
And we are back on Island Tea. And Quincy, remember that article I was telling you about yesterday where they were saying basically pick who you want to lead?
Yeah.
I found it. I sent it to another chat. I thought I had sent it to myself. And it's actually from Caribbean Times Online, and I'll just pick bits and pieces out of it. It says, listen, Democracy Reimagined call for constituency-led primary elections ignites political firestorm in Central Bastille. And it says, in what could be a game-changing shift in the way political candidates are chosen in St. Kitts and Nevis, a passionate caller to Freedom FM issues has sparked national debate with a daring suggestion: let the people, not the party elites, decide who gets to challenge the incumbents. So here's how it works. It says, the idea: a multi-party constituency primary election in Central Bastille, where the People's Labour Party, the People's Action Movement, and even independent hopefuls submit their best candidates. Not to party insiders, but to the constituents themselves in a runoff style election. The winner of that constituency-wide primary would then face off against the Labour Party incumbent in the general election. It is bold, it's controversial, and it could change politics as we know it. The caller, weighing in on the ongoing controversy surrounding candidate selection versus popular support, made it clear it's time. The constituents have a real say. Parties can choose who they want. But if the people reject that choice, what then? Constituents should vote on who they want representing them before the general election even begins. The logic is simple but revolutionary. Why allow party leaders in back rooms to handpick candidates when the voters on the ground know best who they trust, support, and are willing to rally behind? In an era of declining political loyalty and rising voter apathy, this move could reignite engagement and trust, especially in a battleground like Central Bastille. How it would work: under the proposed model, each opposition party in the constituency, say PLP PAM and a notable independent, submits a candidate to a primary election. The primary would be open to all registered constituents, not just party members, monitored by an independent body agreed upon by all participating candidates, held months before the national general elections, and conducted via physical or digital voting mechanism, or even through structured community surveys. The candidate with the most votes becomes the official opposition challenger for the seat, with full united support behind them. Supporters say this would prevent vote splitting and unpopular candidate impositions, and most importantly, put power back in the hands of the people. What do you think about that?
Sounds good to me. As Mr. McMahon would say, when we try the same thing over and over and it's not working, it defeats the purpose. So let's try something new. And it sounds like something that we need right about this time, where the people themselves elect who will be the main leader, and then move from there. Yeah, because it says, in a time of party fatigue, political mistrust, and mounting demand for transparency, the word transparency is the biggest word that's being, it's making its rounds right now. The idea of constituency-led primaries could be the democratic disruption St. Kitts and Nevis needs. Yeah. Hello, caller.
Yes. This me are going to be short. I want to respond to something that Greg said about the labeling.
Yes.
Now, in 1986, the late Calvin Edwards and myself, we went to the University of Miami, where they ran a course called Exporting to the USA.
Yes.
And in terms of labeling, description, having the tags visible, the container size and the metric, they use metric. Now, when I came back, I went around Bastion into other places, encouraging people to do what they say, because once your ship is in, you're actually exporting. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
You're exporting. Now, how would you respond if something you produce creates an allergy or a serious thing to the consumer?
That is why I said once you're dealing with foreigners,
There's almost 40 years. 40 years now they're asking them.
Yeah.
We have a standard bureau where they could test the things. You understand?
Yes.
I mean, there was one man, I was even offering to print some of the labels, because you could buy labels in TDC and those places. And you print the thing on it.
Yeah.
They were saying even if you had to put on Made in St. Kitts, it is actually promoting your business.
Yeah.
So we just can't continue with the same old thing and make an excuse. Because the people could refuse to buy from you, you know.
Yeah.
And you got your ounces. They're using metric. There's a certain type of containers. It goes beyond you. You are exporting.
Yeah.
Even tamarind jam, what is in it? The Bureau of Standards can certify your product. So we must stop making excuses of people. Poor people would better themselves if they would do what they're supposed to do. You make conky. All conkies don't have the same ingredients. You know what is in yours, label it.
Yeah, and that is important, because you might have an ingredient in there that someone has an allergy to.
An allergy too,
Yeah.
and it could be serious,
Yeah.
Just like how some people almost dead thing with peanuts and whatnot.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you people complaining, I agree with them. If you don't label them, take them off the road. It's almost 40 years.
I, as a local, but I hear what you're saying, and I will. What you're saying, and I agree, is that might as well start doing it right as we go forward. But presently, as it is, I, as a local, don't have a problem going and buying my tam and jam or whatever from a local vendor who I've known over the years.
I understand, but the trouble is, selling to you alone.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That is why I agree with you that might as well start now,
No.
and do the right.
They're nearly 40 years late.
Well,
every time you
late than
do
never.
something, you have a political pushback.
Yeah.
And the one with Greg and the person doing the massage. If you have COVID, because some of these criticisms to me don't make no sense. If you have COVID and it is contagious, you're going to rub up people's skin?
That's another aspect. Again, I didn't think about
It's the
that.
love of money. A lot of the complaint here is called the love of money.
But
It
is
isn't
it?
something that we in the smaller countries doing. You shouldn't this and you shouldn't that. Do we have the capacity to deal with crises? We don't.
This is why.
We didn't have enough inhalers.
This is
So
why.
sometimes when and the COVID this and the COVID that, we are, I use the word ignorant,
Yeah.
We don't look at the other side of the argument.
This is why it's good to have these kind of discussions, because I never thought of it from that vantage point that you just brought up. I just saw it as an individual. But yeah, your point is very, very, very relevant.
I tell you, I made it my business. I didn't have to. Went around town. Even how they display. I brought back books. I gave some to the chamber, some to other people. There was a gentleman, I don't pay like that. He used to have some nice earrings made of local thing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I said, all you need to do is make it made in St. Kitts. I do none. You understand? We like to succumb to people's ignorance. So set a date. If they're not think, let them get them off the street. Because we having ships coming in here, people buying, and you are hindering yourself. If you even have a number or something, the person when they go back could say, I bought since St. Kitts also.
Yeah.
And the jars, the containers have to be labeled in metric measures. Some of them, they don't even know to convert. So Greg making those excuses. I wouldn't want to touch somebody from overseas. We did not have a breakout until it happened, in a hotel.
Yeah.
So you make all kind of excuses. We had 42% died. That's a lot. In the countries where they were up and on the place, they died by the thousands.
Sylvia, we have another caller.
I just wanted Greg to hear that. And others out there who are refusing to do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, okay.
All right, Miss Henry, thank you for your contribution.
Hello, caller.
It's one of the reasons I think a lot of our entrepreneurs have not been able to go to the next level because they don't adopt these best practices. And like I said, they should be facilitated by some department in terms of the labeling and those kinds of things. Okay. The clip you played or read about the change in how you select your candidates or constituency reps. It does not address what is the prime concern, the prime drawback to our electoral system, and that is campaign finance reform. Because you can transfer the bad practices in campaign financing to the constituency level if it's done in the way that the person advocated.
Mr. McMahon, sorry to interject here, but here's what I want you to do. We have an interview coming up, and it's a bit overdue. Okay. So soon as it's finished, I want you to call back in and pick up from where you left off. You think you can do that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Right.
So we're going to take a bit of a break, and we'll be back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune into On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on winnfm 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Biff Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Biff Mills on winnfm 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.
Attention, St. and Nevis. The countdown is on and time is running out. This is your final call, your last chance to save big at Hostos Automotive during our VAT Off Drive On blog event. It's your final call, your last chance to get up to $15,000 in total savings. No down payment, free servicing for 12 months, free bill of sale, $1,000 in groceries, or 3 months of free gas, free registration, licensing, tinting, and accessories, and 4% VAT off on top of it all. Yes, you've heard right. Everything free and 4% VAT off. But listen closely. This incredible sale ends when June ends. No extensions, no do-overs. This is your final call. Your last chance for the biggest auto sales saving for the year. So don't walk, run to Hostos Automotive now. Your dream car is waiting, and these deals are ready to roll. Hostos Automotive, where affordability meets the road. Terms and conditions apply.
Need to get your goods to St. Kitts and Nevis? Look no further. TDC Shipping has you covered with reliable cargo solutions by land, air, and sea. Whether it's a package from across the world or a large shipment of goods, TDC Shipping makes it easy, affordable, and stress-free. And with our Airbox service, ordering from your favorite online stores just got even easier. Ship straight to your mailbox and let TDC Shipping handle the rest. Fast, secure, and even to your door. Visit us today at the C.A. Paul Southwell Industrial Park or Penny's Industrial Site, or call 465-2511 in St. Kitts or 469-5430 in Nevis. TDC Shipping, where reliable service meets unbeatable convenience. TDC, together we succeed.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
We're back on Island Tea, and in studio we have Dominic, and as you can see, he has been cracking up. He has been making faces as usual, Dominic. Welcome back to the studio.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much for the invite.
Our pleasure having you. Y'all, Dominic is trying to shade me. He walked up in here with a TDC cup full of, when I think it's hot tea, it's coconut water.
It's island tea. You didn't specify what type of tea, so I chose
You're right. Island water, coconut water.
Island coconut water, yes.
So what's on our agenda for today, Dominic?
We have a lot of things taking place. We've just started May. Today's the 8th, 9th, 10th. And
The
a lot of
9th,
things
please.
are happening. Right? Yeah, the 9th. A lot of things are happening. And we'll start with the Home and Building Depot. As you know, this is officially Mother's Month, the month of mothers, and our
Mother's
Home and
Day
Building
Sunday.
Depots. Yeah, Mother's Day is on Sunday. And our Home and Building Depots have taken the lead, and we're giving moms an ultimate shopping spree. That's from the 1st to the 10th. So it's
Up to
almost
tomorrow.
right, until tomorrow.
Mhm.
And the stores open at 9 a.m. and close at 1 p.m. for those persons who are still wondering, well, they're open at 8 or they're open at 9. So we open at 9 and close at 1. And you get 20% off select product categories, including small appliances, electronics, household items, and furniture. On those particular categories, you get 20% off.
Okay.
There's another bonus for moms. We have interactive displays in store with gift ideas. So if you're looking for gift ideas for mom, you know, you're going and you're like, okay, well, I probably don't want this, I don't want that. We have created gift ideas specifically for mom to kind of guide customers as to, well, hey,
nice.
mom might want this, mom might want that, mom might prefer this, she's this type of person, mom might be a cook, mom might be a welder, mom might be a plumber. We have catered for those types of moms.
Okay.
And of course, here's another bonus for those moms who are shopping tomorrow. We have our Sip and Shop with Mom tomorrow.
Oh,
We've partnered
you're
with
fancy.
Yeah, we've partnered with Rams, the good food people, and they're going to be in store and giving our customers a chance to sip while they shop on some of their featured beverages. So that takes place. The Sip and Shop starts at 9:30 and it goes right down until 11:30. So we're giving our moms, our dear moms, 2 hours to
Sip and shop.
Sip and shop. Now, there's one other thing that some persons might not be aware of. If you come into the store and you may not be able to find exactly what you're looking for, you could purchase Mom a TDC gift card.
Oh, nice.
Gift cards are available in $50 and $100 denominations, or you can also buy a loadable gift card that you put on the amount, and you can use those for cash purchases at any TDC retail store. So that's the Home and Building Depots and Automotive divisions. Not to be outdone, this special is